Hi students, very good evening all. Welcome back to Sri Ramanuja Vidya Mandir. Today I am going to explain about the topic name Why do we fall ill? Right? Let us start today's class. In the previous class I have explained you about the health and importance of health in every organism's life. I have explained, and I have also explained about what you mean by disease and differences between the disease as well as the discomfort of the particular health. Everything I explained. And so students, disease is mainly caused by the microorganisms. We'll call these microorganisms are the agents which are responsible for the disease or pathogens. Pathogen means the agent, the disease causing agent is a pathogen. Right? In what ways this disease can spread from one individual to other individual we have discussed. So many ways are there, like airborne diseases, waterborne, foodborne, and so about the air also we have discussed everything. Right? Now today I'm going to start with the vector-borne diseases. Right? See, what do you mean by vector-borne diseases? Here, one organism is able to responsible for the transfer of disease from one organism to other organism. For example, let us assume that this circle is a patient suffering with some kind of disease. Okay, see, obviously there is a transfer of that particular disease from this diseased person to the healthy individual by vectors. These vectors may be houseflies, mosquitoes, or maybe it may be rats. Okay, so now let us concentrate on the vectors now. Disease causing microorganism is being transferred from the one organism to other organism by means of vectors. Right? So first let us discuss about the malaria. Actually students, you know very well, malaria is the disease caused by the protozoa. Okay, the disease malaria is caused by protozoa. Here, the organism which is responsible for the malaria is Plasmodium. We can also call this as Plasmodium falciparum. Okay. Right. Now, this protozoa is able to cause malaria in the human beings, but it spreads by means of mosquitoes. Okay, of course it affects the human. Okay, in human it causes malaria, but here the vector is mosquitoes. Especially female Anopheles mosquito is the causative vector for the transfer of this malaria from one organism to other organism. Female Anopheles mosquito. Right? Here the female Anopheles mosquito requires highly nutritious blood to lay the eggs. So they feed on warm-blooded organisms. Here, this female mosquitoes requires highly nutritious blood to lay their eggs. And see, this female mosquito that bites on the infected person can transfer the disease-causing microorganism from infected person to the healthy person. Okay, so obviously mosquitoes used to bite human beings, right? So in that biting process, if the deceased person is bitten by any mosquito, so female anopheles mosquito, same mosquito bites a healthy person means, so obviously it is carrying the disease causing agent from deceased person to the healthy person. In the same way, so we need to talk about another vector, that is housefly. Housefly. So housefly carries the causative organisms of cholera on their legs and the mouth parts from the feces and the sputum of infected person to food and drinks and contaminate them. Obviously, see students, housefly used to used to be present on the human or animal excreta. Even we can see them even in the garbages. So in that flying pattern, what will happen? Some agents, means disease causing agents, some impurities, dust, waste particles may bind to the or may stick to the legs as well as the wings of mosquito or wings of houseflies. So the same fly, it will fall on any eatable item, any food item. So obviously it is transforming that waste materials onto the fresh food materials. So if we'll eat those materials, then what will happen? That infected thing may enter in our body. Obviously we may prone to the cholera. Cholera we will get by means of having contaminated or polluted water or food materials. That is the reason, students, better avoid taking of the street foods and uncovered food materials we are not supposed to take. So better we always prefer to eat the house-made foods only. That is only very good for health. So, and at least hereafter try to avoid the eating of roadside food, students. It is very important for the maintenance of the health. Our elders used to maintain this kind of good habits, but now and then so people is habituated with the eating of street foods than the home food. So in our house we'll follow all the precautionary methods. So we'll follow all the cleanly things in our body, in our house. But whereas on the roads, people obviously they won't follow all these things, right? They won't cover properly, they won't wash their hands properly. So why to face the risk, students? So better to avoid eating roadside foods, right? And disease spreads by means of this vector or malaria and the rabies. So malaria and rabies are the diseases spreads by means of these vectors. Now let us study about what do you mean by vector. I am going to define what you mean by vector now. See, vector is an organism. So here this organism harbors the pathogen, may pass it on to the another person to cause disease. Example, mosquito harbors malarial parasite and transmits it to the human being. So it is going to here the vector mosquito harbors the malarial parasite. Harbors the malarial parasite, right? And other one is carrier. What do you mean by carrier? Carrier is an organism which itself does not harbors the pathogen but physically transmit it to the another person. Example, housefly is the carrier of cholera germs. So in simple way, let me give the differences between the vector as well as the carrier. So let us talk about mosquito. Female anopheles mosquito is the, I said no, carrier. It's a vector, I said. So here in this mosquito, what happens? Malarial parasite enters into the body of the our vector, that is anopheles mosquito. Okay, so it may mix with the blood of the mosquito. That is nothing but the here organism which harbors the pathogen. So which have the pathogen already. But here in the case of second case of the carriers, so I said houseflies, simply they are carrying. That's it. Simply they might here the pathogen is not entering into the body. It is simply sticking on outside of the body. So same way it is carrying to the other fresh surface. So this is the main difference between the vector as well as the carrier. See here, and the vectors may be sandflies, ticks, midges and the mosquito. Sometimes our wild animals, pets, livestock, human beings, they may be the vectors for few kind of diseases. Right? Organ specific and tissue specific manifestations of the disease causing agent. So what do you mean by specific manifestations? The things which are happening in the diseased patient are there considered as the manifestations. So we know that disease causing microorganism can enter into the body so by so many agents. So if consider this circle is the body, microorganism enters into the body and by means of so many ways. So how it will enter? By air, by water, by food, right? By food or by means of vectors, some animals. But what happens when the microbe enters in our body? Immediately what happens? Does our body shows any reaction to entry of the foreign microorganism? Yes. See, of course, when microorganism enters into the body, our body did show any response to the particular organism? Yes, it shows immediate response. That particular response is nothing but the manifestations. Right. So, all these are the disease causing agents. Bacteria, virus, protozoa, amoeba. Right. Now, effect of microbes on the body. Effect of microbes on the body. So it is believed that microbes affect specific organ depending on the site of entry. For example, if microbe enters our body through nose, then it mostly likely to reaches the lungs. The bacterium that cause enters via the nose and affects the lungs. See, there are some bacteria, students, mostly that will enter through nose. Okay, and so obviously when it enter into the nose, it may affects the lungs of particular individual. See here the individual diagram is represented. So through the nose there is a maximum possibility of passage of this disease causing agents into the body. If microbe enters through the mouth, then they either stay in the gut lining or affect the liver, and however this may not always true. Actually this is the first case. In the second case, what will happen if the bacteria enters through the mouth, means it may affects the gut. It may affects the gut. So the inner linings of the gut. So again it may reaches the liver. Understand? If it enters by means of nose, it may affects the lungs. If it enters by means of mouth, it may enters the gut or then liver. Right. Now, let us talk about the AIDS virus. AIDS means already I have given that acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Deficiency syndrome. Syndrome means, students, I told you that syndrome means a group of diseases. The word syndrome means, students, a group of diseases. A group of diseases. Right. Actually, AIDS virus, this AIDS is a disease caused by HIV. HIV means human immunovirus. Right? Here, when HIV enters into any individual by sexual contact and spreads to the lymph nodes all over the body. So, whenever enters into the body, so it immediately spreads by means of lymph nodes. Lymph nodes. Similarly, malaria causing plasmodium enters to the blood and goes to the liver to multiply and then pass into the red blood cells of the body. So here I have explained two cases. One is HIV and the next I have explained about the malaria. In the HIV, so it is caused by the human immunovirus. It is going to cause AIDS in the particular AIDS is the name of the disease, and so it enters by means of sexual contact or by the blood transfusion. Right. So whenever it is entering, simply it attacks on the lymph nodes. So by the lymph nodes, it spreads all over the body. Similarly, we will take the another example, that is malaria. And you know that it is caused by plasmodium. Okay. This plasmodium, when enters through the blood, and it immediately reaches the liver, and in the liver it multiplies and spreads throughout the blood. So through the blood, so all the red blood cells get affected. Thus, signs and the symptoms of the disease depend upon the affected tissue or organ. Okay, the symptoms or signs of the disease, it depends upon the affected tissue or organ. Just now I said, so in our body we have n number of microscopic units known as cells. Different cells will combine to form a tissue. Different tissues will combine to form a organ. That you know very well. See, if any abnormality we find in case of any tissue functioning or cell functioning, any organ functioning, obviously that particular situation giving us a hint that so there is some discomfort used to feel by the human body. Right. Tissues or organ specific effects. Very, very important. For example, if lungs are targeted, if the lungs are affected, means the symptoms will be coughing and the breathlessness. If the lungs are having any infection, immediate symptoms or the signs which we can feel are symptoms coughing and breathlessness. Next, if liver is targeted, then it will be results in the jaundice. Okay, if liver is targeted, so as a result, what will get, students? Jaundice. Right? Next, if the brain is the target, so obviously we will get what? Fits, vomiting, headache. So, depending upon the symptoms that we felt, so we can easily assume that so what kind of bacteria enters in our body and which of the organ is faced problem with the infection. So students, what do you mean by tissues? A group of cells with similar structures working together to perform a simple task, that is tissue. If it is organ, the structure made up of a group of tissues working together to perform specific function. So there is a differences between the tissue as well as organ. Right. In addition to these tissues, specific effects, there will be some common effects which can be divided into two types. First, let us discuss about the local effects. What do you mean by local effects, students? They include, so I mean to say the symptoms which we can easily guess are swelling, pain, joint stiffness, joint pain, etc. They occur only at the site of infected area. So wherever we can feel this type of things like paining and the swelling, joint stiffness and all, so we can easily locate the particular place where we have the problem. In the same way, general effects. See, students, in addition to this tissue specific effect, there will be a common effects. So by recognizing, by noticing this type of effects, we can easily come to a conclusion that what type of problem we have in our body. Now let us go with the second type, that is general effects. They include fever, chills, headache, fatigue, loss of appetite. They occur in the body. So we won't feel hungerness, right? So we'll be so weak, fever will be getting, headache will be getting. All these are the general things generally we used to feel. Now let us now discuss how these effects arise in the body. Actually, why all these type of things are arise in our body. Let us discuss. So before going to explain in detail about this topic, I would like to give a small introduction about the immune system, students. Actually, in our body, we have so many systems like nervous system, muscular system, circulatory system, transporting system, excretory system. So in this way, many systems, I think in the human body, altogether 11 systems are there. Okay, out of all 11, so we have other one, that is immune system. So we can call this immune system as body defending mechanism. Body defending mechanism. Why, madam? Why you are using this word as a defending mechanism? What is the reason? Actually, students, let us assume that this circle is a body of any. Let us assume that this circle is a human being. Like, if any foreign pathogen enters into body, any foreign particle, it may be a biological agent or maybe physical agent. There are so many chemical things are responsible for the causing of so many infections and the diseases, right? So if body noticed any foreign particle in the body, immediately our body responds to the particular pathogen and it is going to produce antibodies against to the particular pathogen. See, here pathogen is producing the antigen, and so the body is going to produce the antibody. So here the antigen antibody reactions will be taking place in our body. That means reactions in the sense, in the actual word, what can I say is it's a fight between the pathogen or between the body, right? So pathogen is the enemy for us. Okay, and here the antibody is like a soldier. Okay, so here the fight is going to happen between the antigen as well as the antibody. These antibodies are produced, manufactured, maintained, programmed. Everything is by the immune system in our body. Again, immune system. In immune system, what are the things will be? Like WBC. White blood cells. We can also call these cells as leukocytes. These are present in our blood only. Okay. So whenever a pathogen, a foreign particle enters into our body, that particular foreign particle immediately get recognized, and so immediate action is shown by the WBC like lymphocytes and all. Actually, this is about the immune system, students. Now let us move on to our original topic. And an active immune system directs many cells to the site of infection to kill the pathogen. Actually, here we have different types of immune system, active and the passive. Okay, in higher classes I think you will be learning all these things. So let us discuss this. An active immune system directs many cells of our own body to the site of infection. So they'll reach the particular site of infection. For example, if I have any wound on my hand on my elbow means immediately my body's immune system responds to it, so it generates the few cells. These few cells will go and kill the particular, will reach the particular area, I mean where I'm having the infection. It will reach that particular area and it shows its action, like so the cells, the site of infection to kill the pathogen or disease causing microorganism. This response of immune system is known as inflammatory response. Right. So obvious, generally if you have any the abnormal in our body, generally will be getting wound. Okay. So and so within 2 or 3 days it is going to heals, right, without applying any creams or any gels only sometimes. So who is healing all these wounds and all, students? It is our body's mechanism, that is immune response shown by our own body. That particular response is known as inflammatory response. Inflammatory. So all these are very new words for you, students. Please practice all these things. The general and local effects are caused due to the inflammation. So this is about the immune system and inflammation. Now, let us focus on what you mean by inflammation. Right? Inflammation is the process by which body's immune system, when I'll talk about immune system, only one thing it will get in your mind, that WBC. The other name of WBC is leukocytes. WBCs are nothing but white blood cells. They are present in the blood. Shows this WBC response very immediately, right? And it shows some response that escapes the body from the infection. Okay, and which offers protection against the pathogens. What is that? WBC, or also called as leukocytes. The immune system fights off these foreign substances by triggering general and local effects, right? Actually, what happens when the immune system is damaged? See, students, if the immune system get damaged means what will happen? See, as the present scenario, we are facing problem with the COVID-19. It is a viral infection. It's a pandemic. Entire world is facing the problem with disease, irrespective of their age and economic status and their gender, everything. Everyone is facing the problem with the virus. So, even, of course, there is no medicine for this virus, but elders and experts and doctors are suggesting us to take a good nutritional food. Why? What is the reason? So, just to build up immune power in our body. To strengthen our body. So if we'll prepare well means, obviously unfortunately if we'll been attacked by the organism or virus, our body mechanisms can withstand the particular virus. It shows the particular defense mechanism against the virus, so that virus can be suppressed. Okay, even if it enters in our body also, it is going to be suppressed automatically by the defense mechanism already which is present in our body. It is the one of the fortune thing and God given gift for the every organism, not only human, students, all other living creatures used to have this type of defense mechanism in everyone's human in creation, right? And if the immune system is damaged, then body will not able to fight infections. Then any minor disease can prove fatal. So if if you will not focus on the proper food, if you are not going to take the good food material, what will happen? Slowly we ourselves weakening of our immune system, right? Now, let us see certain conditions where immune system is unable to protect the body. There are some conditions, very, very dangerous conditions. Even the immune system also can't save us properly. Let us see those conditions. Severe disease, HIV infection. You know that It is HIV means human immunovirus. It is going to cause AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, right? So this virus damages the immune system. Why AIDS become this much of typical disease nowadays means this virus affects our immune system. Okay, and here actually students, one more point I want to clear. Each and every second of our life, even now, even at present, you people are sitting in the house, you people are, we all are facing n number of pathogens. They are invisible, we cannot see with our naked eyes. So if you observe your palm under the microscope, you would be able to find so many number of microorganisms on your palm. So what I mean to say that, so risk of entry of pathogen, risk of disease causing agent is we are having for every second, right? But we are not feeling discomfort, we are not having any diseases. The reason, the body mechanism, the body self mechanism which we have in our body. Okay, so continuously it is going to fight with the foreign particles. So by these fighting and all, we are protecting, right? So here in the case of HIV, what will happen? This virus affects the immune system of our body. That is the reason within a span of 4 or 5 years, so all his immune system get collapsed. So he is able to, I think he can keep toilet board for all the diseases. It's not a single disease. Just now I said syndrome, acquired HIV, what I said, students? AIDS means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Why I use the syndrome, students? Syndrome is not a single disease. Okay, a group of disease. Syndrome is a group of disease. The person who affects this disease, affected by this disease, is going to be acquired n number of diseases like lung infections and tuberculosis will be getting, jaundice will be getting, is not able to show any kind of response to the particular disease, right? So he'll be having, I think he'll keep toilet for everything, all the kind of diseases. Okay students, let us continue the same class in the next lecture. As time is not available, I can't continue the class, so I'm stopping the class now. Thank you all. Thank you so much.